How many of you folks admit to having some forebears from Kentucky? I have a whole bunch. How about Tennessee? You know, we're independent sons of bitches and bastardettes here in Indiana. All right? Independent as hell. Fuck you is part of my regular language, okay? Some folks say I couldn't speak English without it, all right? It's a term of endearment, it's a term of hate, it's a term of perplexion, okay? But that just kind of says something about us as Hoosiers. We've got a couple of folks from, oh hi, Buzz, he's over there, the world's best Harley dealer. About the time I have to take a piss when I leave Indianapolis, heading out to the east coast of the Shenandoah Valley, I go by Buzz's place. It's right there in Springfield, Ohio. Buzz, stand up. Came all the way over here. Just to be part of it. Gary Sellers. Where's Gary? Gary, get your ass in here. Stand up, wherever you are. Hardcore motorcyclist. Hardcore. You know, he's an 18-year member of ABATE of Indiana. Hell, he doesn't even live here. I think that says something about ABATE of Indiana. You folks have a wonderful honor, but an unbelievable obligation to the rest of the world. I mean, let's face it, Indiana, hell, we're 25th in geographical size, right? Alaska's a big-ass state. California's a big-ass state. Got a lot of people out there. Indiana's only 25th in population. But guess what, folks? You folks lead the band when it comes to biker rights. Now, hell, I think that's let me say something very kind of important, and Jay, our good leader, hinted at it. It reminds me, Putt, where's Putt? Where's my hero, Putt? Yeah, hell, you know, he thinks he's heard it all, and he has. All right. Well, anyhow, Putt is what I call the loyal opposition. No matter what you say, he has a contrary opinion. I know, because I'm his lawyer, okay? Well, Putt and I go back so far. Anybody here older than me? Oh, yeah, Yaki, he claims to be. Bullshit, you're younger than me, Yaki. Anyhow, 61, dog. Uh-oh. Well, here's my point, folks. I remember when ABATE of Indiana was 99% party and 1% work. God, it was fun. I mean, hell, who in this room doesn't love going to titty bar after titty bar at 2 o'clock in the morning? Hell, I still have my old 84 FLH, and what I loved about it best, when I went out to sit on it after being at PT's for a couple, 3 wonderful hours, and when I sat on it, I fell over. It wasn't that far to hit the ground. You know what I mean? I just love that. Still have that bike. Well, anyhow, something happened to ABATE of Indiana. Where the hell did we go wrong? Now we're 99% work and 1% party. Somewhere along the road, it didn't look good for me going into PT's all the time. It didn't look good for me to be doing like the video with the alcohol, and it didn't look good for our leadership either. I remember going to ABATE meetings and espousing the unheard of. No alcohol at our events. Hell, you guys remember that movie Blues Brothers? Remember they were playing up on the stage and they had the chicken wire? Shit, that's what I needed when I went to those meetings to explain that new rule to them. All right? Along the way, ABATE of Indiana got into rider education. Along the way, ABATE of Indiana got into 400 acres in Lawrence County and all the wonderful things that we do there. Along the way, ABATE of Indiana got into MDA. Along the way, ABATE of Indiana got into the Miracle Ride and 100 other events that are wonderful contributors to our society. A lot of people say, well, hell, Rod, we're a biker rights organization. What are we doing all this charity shit for, okay? I'll tell you why. When the table of legislation is set, we want to earn our place. And you know, I just told Jay just yesterday, I said, back in the good old days, I used to have to explain away ABATE of Indiana. You know, I don't have to do that anymore. I just say ABATE of Indiana and everybody goes, they got that recognition. You know, the others, the outers, all right? They have a recognition of what we're all about. Hell, the governor rides with us. And I predict future governors will ride with us, whether they be Republican, Democrat, or peppermint, all right? And I think that's a tribute to our organization and the wonderful staff that we have. I dare Mark Volsetti to put this in Hoosier Motorcyclist. By the way, we have the greatest motorcycle rights publication ever put out. No question about that. And we have had ever since Mark Volsetti has had anything to do with it. But I dare Mark to do the following. I'm always amused, you know, they put these pictures of presidents, you know, when they take office, and then 4 years into the office, I'm sitting there at the AdCom meeting last night, and Putt's got all these, where the hell's Putt? She's still out there goofing around? Yeah, all right. Well, anyhow, I'm sitting there going through all these wonderful past ABATE, our monthly ABATE publications, Hoosier Motorcyclist, going back in the good old days. And there in the middle is a picture of a handsome guy, full head of hair. I mean, movie star quality. And I'm looking and I'm going, who in the shit is that guy? He's from Lafayette. Damn, that's Jay Jackson. So I think we have our own version of, and what they call you and I, Jay, is that we have become distinguished. But in any event, I think the toll that we're taking. Hey, Putt, can I tell something on you?
Yeah.
I was the dumbass who was against Lawrence County Recreational Park. Hell, I thought we were going broke. I couldn't have been more wrong. That was a brilliant move. I was the guy against bingo. I thought, what the hell is a bunch of bikers doing around the bingo parlor? Okay? I thought we were into bikers' rights. Somebody slapped me up against the head. I was wrong. Putt, loyal opposition comments. He was against brighter education. We just talked about it. And we all admit we were deathly wrong at the time. One of the greatest fears that you have to face in ABATE, we're fierce, independent sons of bitches and bastardettes, as I said before. Black and white. We feel strongly. We're the smart guys. Remember I asked you about Kentuckians? Remember that? No. Who all had that heritage? All right. The same fierce people that came through the Cumberland Gap, all right, that would move into an area that's not settled, no laws. Hell, that blood is right in this room. I always have a funny story about the Kentuckian element. My father always used to say, well, son, you know, we all came from Kentucky up through southern Illinois, and you had to be smart enough to figure out how to cross the river. And he said, well, and the rest of them, they're still there, okay? Got a few relatives down there. I have to be kind of careful about that. But in any event, we have that element of fierce independence. Fierce independence. And Jay said it accurately, correctly, and wonderfully earlier. Once the board, once the ruling entity makes a decision, how difficult it may be for us to stomach it, we must get behind and support that decision. As I did when I got my ass kicked on Lawrence County Recreational Park, rightly. As I did in several other decisions. Or as Putt did when it came to rider education. But once that decision is made, it's kind of like a court. It took me forever to learn how to do this. I got enough hillbilly in me that I still like to bitch. You know, the judge says, overruled. And I want to argue about the damn thing, okay? Well, that doesn't work with a judge, you know what I mean? Once they've ruled, they've ruled. Thank you.